Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks, School of Agriculture, SOA. Certificate in Organic Farming, COF. BAP001 Introduction to Organic Farming. Block-2 Organic Norms. Unit-1 National Norms. 1.0 Objectives. You have already studied about organic farming, the principles of organic farming, its benefit and scope in the previous block. In this unit, you will be studying the National Norms, Indian, prescribed for the organic production system to have a National Organic Guarantee System in our country. 1. Introduction. The 4 key points in organic quality control are standards, accreditation, inspection and certification. In order to authenticate a product as organic, it is required to produce or process the product as per the set norms and standards. The Inspection and Certification Agency verifies the compliance of such norms at the production site and awards the certificate on satisfaction. Thereafter, the product is sold as organic in the market and their quality of being organic is assured. In India, the organic quality control has been implemented by the Government of India under the National Programme for Organic Production (NPOP). Every producer, processor, or exporter who intends to produce and sell organic products should fulfill all requirements and comply with the standards laid down in the NPOP for organic agriculture. The precondition to enter in an organic market is to follow the NPOP standards and get inspected and certified, as per the norms of NPOP, by an accredited certifying agency. At least once in a year, the production units have to be inspected by such agency. However, the first requirement is to know the regulations regarding organic production and the norms to be followed by the certified organic farmer. The National Programme for Organic Production, NPOP, defines the organic farming as a system of farm design and management to create an ecosystem which can achieve sustainable productivity without the use of artificial external inputs such as chemical fertilizers and pesticides. 1.2 WHOI is a certified organic farmer. You know that the food undergoes various interlinked activities from the production site to the consumer. At every step, there are set standards to be complied to authenticate the genuinity of the product. Organic farmer is a farmer who cultivates and maintains his farm on the principles and practices of organic farming. Such a farm is inspected for its on-farm practices and transactions to acquire him a certificate of authenticity of being an organic production site. A certified organic farmer follows different sets of ethics compared to his counterpart in the conventional system. Let us examine some of the organic farming ethics a farmer should follow. Organic farmer should produce food that is safe and of high nutritional quality in sufficient quantity. All farming operations in his farm should interact in constructive and life-enhancing way with all natural systems and cycles. Farmers should encourage and enhance biological cycles within the farming system, involving microorganisms, soil flora and fauna, plants and animals. All farming operations should be carried out with an objective of maintaining and increasing the long-term soil fertility. Whenever a new technology is used or adopted, it should be as far as possible from renewable resources of locally organized agricultural system. The farming activities should be as far as possible within a closed system. With regard to the soil nutrient issues, farmers should minimize all forms of pollution that may result from agricultural practices. Agricultural operations within the farm should create a harmonious balance between crop production and animal husbandry. Farmers should let their livestock to live in their basic condition of life and their innate behavior. Farmers should process organic products using renewable resources. The farm should use only biodegradable organic products. The farming operations should progress towards an entire production, processing and distribution chain which is both socially just and ecologically responsible. The farmer should promote crop diversity and indigenous animal species. Within the farming, the farmer should not use of genetically modified, GM, crops varieties or animal breeds for food production in the farm. 1.3 Basic requirements in an organic farm. We have studied so far the minimum requirements in an organic farm and the organic ethics. When a farmer decides to convert his farm to organic, he is required to engage in a number of new activities in addition to normal farming operations. These forms the basic requirement in organic farming. It is assumed that the farmer is well aware of these aspects before venturing into the production process. Let's see these one by one. All organic farmers should be acquainted with the organic standards, which cover the specific details on what is allowed and what is not allowed in organic farming, including storage, transport and sale, compliance of production activities, the existing facilities and production methods must comply with the standards for organic, which may involve modifying the existing facilities to the required norms, input, sourcing and changing suppliers, etc. Farm documentation. This involves extensive paperwork of up-to-date information detailing farm history and current setup, including the results of soil and water tests, harvest details, input-output expenditure over a period, etc. Planning. The farmer should have a written, annual production plan detailing everything from seed to grain, harvest. Inspection by a certifying agency. As a certified farmer, he should allow annual on-farm inspections including a physical tour, examination of records, and an oral interview on the farm activities and social welfare of laborers. Fee. Payment of annual inspection certification fee and complying with the existing norms of country depending on the size of the operation. Record keeping, written, day-to-day farming and marketing records, covering all activities, which must be made available for inspection at any time. Now you have understood how an organic farmer maintains his farm to qualify as organic. Once you have mentally decided to convert your farm to organic, the next step is to understand the conversion process and related activities for transition. Let's examine these aspects one by one. 1.3.1 Conversion. The process by which a farmer switches over to organic farming system from the conventional chemical farming or traditional farming system is called conversion. The time between the start of organic management and getting organic certification is called conversion period. A farmer would follow the prepared conversion plan. For example, if a farmer has 10 acres of land, he may prepare a conversion plan for 2 acres at first stage and after every 1 or 2 years, and depending upon the returns and financial resources, he may increase the organic farm area to another 2 acres. Likewise, the entire farm can be converted to organic over a period of 5 to 7 years. In doing so, it is necessary to follow the split production in the farm by maintaining organic and non-organic fields separately. However, in the long run, the entire activities including animal husbandry, fisheries, poultry and other enterprises should be converted into organic. Generally, the minimum conversion period is 2 years for annual crops and 3 years for perennial crops. The conversion period can be relaxed based on the verification by the certificating agency if the requirements are fully met. During conversion, steps should be taken to maintain biodiversity within the farm. For this, a variety of farming activities can be taken up like crop rotation, mixed cropping, relay cropping, tree farming, etc. 1.3.2 Mixed farming. In an organic farm, the mixed farming is the basic principle. Mixed farming is Nothing but inclusion of animal husbandry, poultry, fisheries or any other agricultural enterprises that is practiced along with crop production. The concept of self-sufficiency through animal waste recycling and on-farm soil fertility maintenance is carried out through this process. Shifting cultivation is not permitted in organic farms. 1.3.3 Crop rotation. Growing of different crops in different seasons at the same farm is called crop rotation. The crop rotation should be followed on the basis of locality and region. In a rotation, cover crops, green manure, fodder crops, and leguminous crops are included for making soil healthy. As you may recall that leguminous crops have a capacity to fix atmospheric nitrogen in the soil. In case of perennial crops, cover crops, green leaf manure crops, deep-rooted trees may also be included. Monocropping should be avoided in organic farms. 1.3.4 Planting. Species and varieties cultivated in organic farms should be adapted to the soil and climatic conditions and resistant to pests and diseases. Seeds or planting material should be procured from organic source only. If it is not available, chemically untreated seeds planting materials can be used only once, i.e., during the conversion period, which will be considered as organic after 31D crop. Uses of GM, genetically modified, tissue cultured, transgenic plants or pollen cultured etc. are not permitted in the organic farm plants planting materials. 1.3.5 Manuring. Maintenance of soil fertility in the organic farm is carried out through green manuring. Inclusion of leguminous crops and application of composts, for example, compost, vermicompost, farmyard manure etc. The plant residues after harvest are to be incorporated into the soil. Biodegradable materials of microbial, plant or animal origin should be applied as manures. The uses of synthetic chemicals like urea, superphosphates are not permitted. The mineral-based materials like rock phosphate, gypsum, lime etc. can be applied in limited quantities when there is absolute necessary. 1.3.5.1 Products that are permitted as manure in organic fields. One of the criteria to assess the status of organic farm is to verify the quality of manuring materials and method of their application. The NPOP standard states the permission and prohibition of certain products in the organic farms. There are also restrictions on the use of some organic products. Let's see some of the permitted manuring products in organic farming. Farmyard manure, slurry, green manures, crop residues, straw and other mulches from own farm. Sawdust, wood shavings from untreated wood. Calcium chloride, limestone, gypsum and chalk. Magnesium rock. Sodium chloride. Bacterial preparations, biofertilizers, egg, azospirillum, rhizobium. Biodynamic preparations. Plant preparation and extracts like neem cake. Vermicompost. 1.3.5.2 Restricted products. There are some manuring products that are organic, but they can be used only after the approval of the certification agency. These products are called restricted products because these are not from the organic source. Therefore, they are allowed to be used by the certification agencies under certain terms and conditions. These products are farmyard manure, slurry, urine, straw etc. from other farms. Blood meal, bone meal, fish meal, with preservatives. Minerals like basic slag, sulfate of potash etc. Trace elements. Vermicompost from other farms. 1.3.6 Pest, disease and weed management. Use of synthetic or chemical pesticides, fungicides, and weedicides are prohibited in organic farming. Natural enemies and predators are to be encouraged and protected in the farm itself. Products collected from the local farm, animals, plants and microorganisms and preparation done in the farm are allowed for the control of pests and diseases. For example, neem seed, kernel extract, cow urine spray, etc. Use of genetically engineered organisms and products are prohibited for controlling pests and diseases. Similarly, synthetic growth regulators to induce growth, ripening, etc. are not permitted. Weeding is to be done between the crop plants. Weeds under the base of the plants should be cleaned and put as mulch around the plant base. The cut weed material should be spread over ground surface to act as mulch. 1.3.6.1 Products permitted for plant protection. Neem oil and other neem preparations like neem seed kernel extract, cakes. Chromatic traps, mechanical traps, pheromone traps, plant-based repellents. Soft soap and clay. 1.3.6.2 Restricted products. These products are used when it is absolutely necessary and after taking environmental impact into consideration. Consultation with certification agencies is necessary for using these materials in the farm. Copper-based preparations like Bordeaux mixture, plant and animal preparation, cow urine spray, garlic extract, chili extract, light mineral oils, kerosene oil, release of parasites, predators of insect pests, use of sulfur, viral, fungal and bacterial preparations, biopesticides. 1.3.7 Soil and water conservation. Measures like stone pitching and contour wall constructions are to be taken up to prevent soil erosion. In case of saline soils, saline-resistant varieties may be grown. Judicious irrigation and soil moisture conservation measures are to be practiced. Mulching is recommended. Pollution of surface and groundwater should be prevented. Clearing of primary forest is prohibited. Clearing of land through straw, burning or plant residue should be restricted to the minimum. 1.3.8 Contamination control. It is necessary to take various measures to minimize the contamination in organic farm from outside and also within the farm. The following precautions are to be taken up. If neighboring fields are non-organic, a buffer zone should be maintained. The height of buffer crops should be twice the height of organic crop and the width of the buffer should be 25 to 50 feet. For example, if chili is grown as main organic crop, castor or agathi can be grown as buffer crop. The crops grown in buffer zone should be sold as non-organic. If the farm is under conversion, equipments used for conventional areas should be well cleaned before using in organic areas. Products based on polythene, polypropylene and other polycarbamates are allowed to cover protected structure, insect netting, nursery, drying, etc. Subjected to the condition that these materials should not be burnt or incorporated in the soil. Use of polychloride-based products like PVC pipe is prohibited. 1.3.9 Processing. Processing techniques like solar drying, freezing, drying, hot air chambers are permitted. Irradiation of agricultural produce is not permitted. No synthetic additives or dyes are to be added during processing. 1st March 2018 Labeling. The label should convey clear and accurate information on organic status of the product. For example, the level should clearly indicate the product is obtained during conversion or from certified organic farm. The label for organic and conversion in progress product should be distinguishable by different color labels. The details like name of the product, quantity, name and address of the producer, name of the certification agency, certification lot number, etc. R2. Be clearly written on the cover of the product and lot as a whole. The lot number is helpful in tracing back the product, particularly the field number in which it is grown. Lot number should include the crop, country, field no, date of harvest and production year. 1st March 2011 packaging. For packing of organic food products, reusable materials like clean jute bags should be used. Use of biodegradable materials is also permitted. Unnecessary packaging materials should be avoided. Organic and non-organic products should not be stored and transported together except when labeled properly in order to avoid any mix-up. 1st March 2012 Social justice. Social rights and justice are an integral part of organic farming. The farmer has to take into consideration these aspects also. The laws relating to labor welfare and rights of women and children should be honored. All employees of the organic farm and their families should have access to potable water, food, housing, education, transportation and health services. All employees should have equal wages when doing same job. They must have equal opportunities irrespective of color, creed, and gender. Social security needs of the employees of the farm, including maternity, sickness and retirement benefits, should be met. The rights of indigenous people should be respected. 1st March 2013 Documentation. Documentation of farm activities is a must for acquiring the certification, especially when both conventional and organic crops are raised simultaneously at any farm. The documents that are to be maintained by the farmer are: A. Field map. B. Field history sheet. C. Activity register. D. Input record. E. Output record. F. Harvest register. G. Storage record. H. Sales record. I. Pest control records. J. Movement records. K. Equipment cleaning records. L. Labeling records. 1.4 Certification. We have seen that certification by an authentic agency, normally called as third party, will ensure the conformity of organic product to the national standards, NSOP. The producer, first party, as well as consumer, second party, wants to be sure that the product is really organic and premium price is paid on this trust of the certification agency. There are 3 types of third party certification. They are: 1. Direct certification. Here an internationally active certifying agency, which have authorization in EU, USA or any foreign country, inspects the farm and certifies in a third country. The advantage of this certification is that the producer can directly find market in these countries and export its products. The disadvantage of this system is that the certification cost will be higher and may not be suitable for small farms and low-income farmers. 2. Co-certification. A certifying agency of the internationally active certifying agency in a third country inspects and certifies a farm processor in a third country. An internationally active control body with authorization in EU, USA confirms its certification. The authenticity of the co-certification agency is greatly dependent on the changing rules. However, the cost for certification will be lesser compared to direct certification agencies and sometimes high compared to local certification agencies. 3. National certification. A local control body in a country inspects and certifies a farm in that country based on its organic norms. The products can be sold in the local market and other countries that accept the national norms as well as the accreditation of the agency. Since these certifying agencies are local, the inspection fee also will be lower compared to direct or co-certification agencies. The standards for accrediting of inspection and certification agencies are mentioned in Section 4 of NPOP under 3 heads, A, B and C. Similarly, Section 5 deals with guidelines for certification of grower groups. Any such agency, inspection and certification agencies should follow the national standards for organic production under the National Program for Organic Production, notified under the Foreign Trade, Development and Regulation Act, 1992. FTDR 1.5 Group Certification. Today, the organic market is regulated by various organic standards and regulations in most countries worldwide. We had seen earlier that all production steps of a product that is marketed as organic need to be certified. In India, a majority of farmers are smallholders and are often located in remote areas with long travel times from one place to another. The overall revenue from their agricultural production is usually too small to allow a viable farm inspection by an external inspection agency. Quality assurance systems of smallholder groups have been developed by IFOM under group certification norms.
In India, majority of farmers are resource poor and they cultivate small plots of land. The formal system of organic certification is difficult and expensive. Although the individual land holding may be small, the farmers are often organized into formal groups or cooperatives for marketing of their produce. Such groups range from just a few to several thousand farmers who cooperate in production and marketing of produce. To overcome the difficulties of external certification of large numbers of small farms, group certification based on an internal control system, ICS, and participatory organic certification has come into operation. As this procedure is more relevant to Indian conditions, we should look into these aspects. 1.5.1 Internal Control System, ICS. An internal control system, ICS, is a documented quality assurance system that allows an approved external certification agency to delegate the annual inspection of individual group members to an identified BDL unit within the certified operator. This is for the purpose of reducing individual small farmers' inspection costs to a reasonable level. This can take the form of a 100% regime of inspection and record keeping by growers' groups with random sampling by the certification body and reinspection of a certain number. As a consequence, requirements regarding smallholder group certification and the duties of the internal control system, ICS, differed considerably between different organic certifiers. Smallholder groups certification implies that there is a central body responsible for ensuring the group's compliance with applicable standards. This can be a self-organized cooperative farmers association or simply a buyer or processor who contracts farmers, contract production. Group certification for all small farms as well as processing and handling activities registered within the group. Individual operators within the group may not use the certification independently. Group members operate under contractual or binding membership requirements specifying the commitment to comply with applicable organic standards besides permitting inspection, etc. The ICS maintains files on all members of the group and inspects each member's operation at least once a year. A list of all individual member producers is made available. The group through the ICS mechanism decides on members' compliance with applicable standards. Non-compliances are dealt with according to set procedures and sanctions. 1.5.2 Participatory Organic Certification. The notion of participatory or alternative certification has emerged in recent years in response to the problems associated with mainstream organic certification. Popularly known as Participatory Guarantee System (PGS), it is basically a combination of community-based inspections, transparency, and trust between producer and consumer to maintain the integrity of the organic label. Even though this system may be problematic for export-oriented production, it is a useful way to promote and support local market networks of organic production and consumption. Today, PGS has become a popular alternative production. It is a useful way to promote and support local market networks of organic production and consumption. Today, PGS has become a popular alternative in southern Kerala, where the barriers to mainstream certification are particularly pronounced due to fragmented agricultural holdings. Participatory certification processes rely on the same norms and standards used by organizations such as the International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movements, FOAM, and NSOP. What makes them different is that they employ simple verification procedures, minimal bureaucracy and costs, and in most cases also incorporate an element of environmental and social education for both producers and consumers. Another significance of PGS is that it does not impose any direct cost on producers. Also, it does not envision exportation as the goal of organic production, but rather emphasizes the importance of local production and consumption networks. Beyond addressing some of the barriers that prevent small-scale producers from achieving organic certification, participatory certification also speaks to a broader critique of the mainstream organic sector. Namely, many have criticized the organic sector for abandoning its philosophical roots, which focused on small-scale, community-based consumption, a direct relationship between producer and consumer, and a holistic vision of sustainable food systems. Within this ideological framework, there was little or no need for external certification bodies because the consumer would personally visit the farm or at least have a relationship with the farmer, and this personal relationship established trust in the integrity of the product. However, the majority of organic goods are consumed far from their location of production, thus breaking the relationship of trust between producer and consumer and creating the need for independent certification agencies. Within this new, globalized organic market, the concept of participatory certification may not be viable as the system of organic certification and quality control is already in place. As such, the development of participatory certification processes necessarily implies a return to the roots of the organic movement, with a renewed focus on local markets as opposed to export orientation. It also helps to ensure that healthy organic products will be available at more accessible prices, thus making organic consumption available to lower income segments of the population who have traditionally been unable to afford the price premiums associated with mainstream organics. Finally, participatory certification creates great opportunities to build meaningful bonds between producers and consumers based on TTE shared goals of promoting a holistic organic philosophy. PGS is considered as a procedure for developing the group certification. Therefore, it is not regulated under NPOP 1.6 National Standards for Organic Production, NSOP. Section 3 of the NPOP deals with the national standards for organic production. Some of the important production requirements as per NSOP are: genetically engineered cultivars or plant materials are not permitted in organic production. The seed for raising a crop should either be organically produced or, if organic seed is not available, seeds from a conventional farm without any chemical treatment may be used. Our whole farm, including the livestock, should be converted to organic method in a step-by-step manner. If the whole farm is not converted, the certification program should ensure that the organic and conventional parts of the farm are separate and inspectable. Farms under conversion to organic should be subjected to inspection by the accredited inspection body to ensure getting certified at the end of the stipulated period. Plant products produced can be certified organic when the national standards requirements have been met within the conversion period of at least 2 years before sowing for annual crops, or in the case of perennial crops other than grassland, at least 3 years before the first harvest of. To ensure a clear separation between organic and conventional production, the certification bodies should inspect the whole production system. Biodegradable material of microbial plant or animal origin should form the basis of the fertilization program. Manures containing human excreta, feces and urine cannot be used on vegetation for human consumption. Mineral fertilizers should only be used in a supplementary role to carbon-based materials. Permission for use should only be given when other fertility management practices have been optimized. Chilean nitrate and all synthetic nitrogenous fertilizers, including urea, are prohibited in the farm. Mineral fertilizers should be applied in their natural composition and should not be rendered more soluble by chemical treatment. Products used for pest, disease and weed management, prepared at the farm from local plants, animals and microorganisms, are allowed. The use of synthetic herbicides, fungicides, insecticides and other pesticides is prohibited. In case of reasonable suspicion of contamination, the certification program should make sure that an analysis of the relevant products and possible sources of pollution, soil and water, are carried out to determine the level of contamination. For protected structure coverings, plastic mulches, fleece and insect netting, and silage wrapping, products based only on polyethylene and polypropylene or other polycarbonates are allowed. These should be removed from the soil after use and should not be burnt on the farmland. The use of polychloride-based products such as PVC film is prohibited. The detailed description of various regulations governing organic production can be obtained from APIDA or downloaded from their website www.apida.com. Now let us understand the National Standards for Organic Production, NSOP. NSOP details the guideline for organic production which serves as useful reference book for farmers, producers, processors, traders, exporters, importers, inspection and certification bodies in India and abroad. It is issued by the Department of Commerce, Ministry of Commerce and Industries, and Government of India. NSOP is the official document that provides information on standards for organic production, system criteria and accreditation procedure of the inspection and certification bodies. The national organic logo and regulations for using it are parts of NSOP. A farmer who wants to know about the details of organic certification process may refer to the concerned section and get familiarized with it. There are 8 different sections in the NSOP manual. Out of this, Section 3 details the aspects related to crop production and animal husbandry in general, outlining the activities a farmer have to follow in his farm. For each activity to be practically undertaken in the farm, the procedure is again subdivided into 3 separate parts as general principles, recommendations, and standards. This done to give an understanding of the holistic nature of farming philosophy the farmer is trying to achieve through organic farming. These could be broadly explained as follows. 1. General principle relating to ecological principle. The general principle related to organic production is that the activity proposed should fit into and benefit from nature's systems. A dual goal is to guide the farmer for good management decision-making as well as to produce high-quality, safe food in a manner that tends to preserve the integrity and stability of the biotic community. Overall effort of any farming activity is to build up or at least sustains the inherent productive capacity of the soil and biological resources used in the production process. Similarly, organic processing should, as much as possible, retain the integrity of the product so produced. Any deviation from this ideal in production or processing should only be allowed when there is clearly demonstrated need and must not undermine the long-term goals of building soil productivity and producing nutritious, safe food that consumers can buy and enjoy with confidence. 2. Recommendations relating to precautionary principle. The recommended practices in organic farms are made on the basis of precautionary principles. It is any material used in the production or processing of organic food must be proven safe. However, no material is allowed in the farm simply because they have not been proven unsafe or because benefits may appear to outweigh risks and uncertainties. The burden of proof should always be on the farmer wishing to use the material and contending it is safe. 3. Standards related to system principle. The acceptability of practices, processes, and inputs in organic production should be judged, first, on their impacts on whole organisms and the biological and ecological process that govern the interactions within living systems. Those that are found to contribute to the health of organisms and systems should then be evaluated in terms of their intrinsic properties independent of their use and impacts on living systems. The standards prescribed for organic farming may vary with the farming situations. 1.6.1 NSOP for crop production and animal husbandry in general. The Section 3 of NPOP described this aspect in detail. The crop production and animal husbandry in general is detailed under the following heads. A. Crop production and animal husbandry in general. Conversion requirements. Maintenance of organic management. Landscape. B. Crop tilde roductio. Choice of crops and varieties. Length of conversion period. Diversity in crop production. Fertilization policy. Pest, disease and weed management including growth regulators. Contamination control. Soil and water conservation. Collection of non-cultivated material of plant origin and honey. C. Animal husbandry. Animal husbandry management. Length of conversion period. Brought-in animals. Breeds and breeding. Mutilations. Animal nutrition. Veterinary medicine. Transport and slaughter. Beekeeping. D. Food processing and handling. General. Pest and disease control. Ingredients, additives and processing aids. Processing methods. Packaging. E. Labeling. F. Storage and transport. Now let's examine the subsection of each of the activity, namely, conversion requirements. It has the general principles, recommendations and standards which are elaborated on the following lines. Conversion requirements. The conversion is required to switch over from conventional to organic farm. General principles. Organic agriculture develops a viable and sustainable agroecosystem by working compatibly with natural living systems and cycles. The time between the start of organic management and certification of crops and/or animal husbandry is known as the conversion period. The whole farm, including livestock, should be converted according to the standards over a period of 3 years. Recommendations. 1. For a sustainable agroecosystem to function optimally, diversity in crop production and animal husbandry must be arranged in such a way that there is interplay of all the elements of the farming management. 2. Conversion may be accomplished over a period of time. A farm may be converted step by step. The totality of the crop production and all animal husbandry should be converted to organic management. 3. There should be a clear plan of how to proceed with the conversion. This plan should be updated if necessary and should cover all aspects relevant to these standards. The certification program should set standards for different farming systems so that they can be clearly separated in production as well as in documentation. 4. Standards should determine norms to prevent a mix-up of input factors and products. 5. Independent sections of the operation unit should be converted in such a way that these standards are completely met on each section before it is certified as organic. 1.6.2 Inspection and certification of organic products for export. The Director General of Foreign Trade, DGFT, had made it mandatory that organic product be exported only if it is certified by a certification body duly accredited by the U.S. Department, one of the accreditation agencies of Agriculture, USDA, and the European Union, EU. Regulation on organic production had recognized India's national standards for organic production as sufficient to meet the standards of the U.S. National Organic Program, NOP, and European Union Regulations 2009-191. Some of local certifying agencies had received European Union equivalency based on LTROP-GAP certification through the German certifier DAP. It is also important to note that the exporters in developed countries are not allowed to apply directly for import authorization, which means that Indian exporters have to depend on importers in individual European Union member states to obtain special import permits from their respective European Union control authorities. Moreover, import permits are issued for a defined period, either for specific products or product groups from a given European Union country. 1.7 Let US Sum UP. We have read in this unit about the national norms prescribed for the organic production system in our country. Government of India has implemented NSOP in this regard. A farmer should know the regulations relating to organic farming, organic production requirements, role of a certified organic farmer, and the basic standards in an organic farm. He should also be familiar with certification procedure, national standards for organic production standards, procedure for inspection and certification of organic export products. Apart from third-party certification, there is group method of organic quality assurance through ICS and PGS. An understanding on ICS and PGS in Indian context will serve thousands of farmers and consumers to shift to organic in the future. The consumer prefers on organic produce that has been properly certified by an accredited certifying agency. Once the agency is convinced about the compliance of norms in the production system, it awards a certificate which authenticates the product as organic. India Organic logo is marked on the packing of such products. Thank you.